However, I am going to do that. I'm super interested to see where my family has been. The title of my icebreaker will be Ships, Horses, and Moonshine. Jack helped me rephrase it because the order I had it in made it sound like I said something else. Ships, Horses, and Moonshine. My parents, or my grandparents, my great-grandparents, on my mother's side were from Ireland. You would never guess I have any Irish in me at all. They were potato farmers over there, and I'm not sure if it was due to the potato famine or not. I can't corroborate this yet. But they decided to come to America in 1912. It was Anne Sweeney and one of her friends hopped on the Lusitania ship in 1912 and came over to Ellis Island and were met by older sisters who were then these sisters helped them get to Ohio. From Ohio, they ended up over here in Breda, Washington, where my grandfather, my mom's dad, was in the Air Force, and he met my grandmother in Malaga, Washington. That's my mother's side of the story. The interesting portion of that, to me, history-wise, is that Lusitania ship was sunk in 1915 by the Germans, and that's what entered us into World War I. Good thing they were on the ship 3 years sooner. I might not be here. The Sweeneys then, fast forward one moment, it's a little ironic. I ended up furthering my education in the accounting trade. My grandfather, Tom Sweeney, worked for Chelan County PUD as a laborer and ended up as an accountant for the PUD, back when you could self-trade through the trades in the PUD and be taught, and he went to school in his off time to learn how to be an accountant. That side of the family is maybe better than my father's side of the family, up for debate. That's where the horses and moonshine comes in. My great-great-great-grandfather was a very conservative, religious fanatic, I guess is how he was described to me. He was really concerned about his kids being around alcoholism and alcohol in bars. And there were many bars in Missouri where they were living at. So he decided, I have to get my boys away from these bars, and hopped on horses and covered wagons and relocated to Waterville. No internet back then, so he couldn't Google search up what was in Waterville, but lo and behold, there were 2 taverns in Waterville. Shows up with his boys. Tragically, my father tells me they mostly all ended up with alcohol-related problems. In fact, one of them, back in the days when you would drive the combine and it was an open, no cage or anything around you safety-wise, and just those big spinning blades, they suspect Uncle Ralph tipped over from drinking and driving the combine and ended up spiked on that up on Badger Mountain. The funny side, when you're somewhat removed from it, related to moonshine and alcohol, is my grandma's brother, Cliff Johnson. He has passed away recently. He lived to be 100 and something, so alcohol was a preservative. He was an absolute character if you were a little bit removed from him. I'm sure if you lived directly with that, it wasn't so fun. But he lived up on Badger Mountain, and he made his own moonshine. And I wrote a paper about him during the Prohibition, how he would make moonshine and he would run it up the Okanagan to the Warhoop Tavern and sell it to the Indians and drink a lot of it himself. Pretty famous cowboy horse riding person. I had mentioned previously in a meeting a Badger Mountain resident with the last name Doneen was here. Cliff is the cowboy who quit a great PUD job so he could be a horse and cow wrangler on the Doneen Ranch rather than work for the PUD. His choice of living. The horses aspect of it, my family, not myself, I'm terrified of horses. I'm completely uncomfortable when I'm riding them. Can't wait to get off of them. My other family members loved riding horses. They would compete in the Waterville Fair and the racing the horses around the tracks. I don't know if they did the bucking broncos or whatnot. But my dad's side of the family grew up on Badger Mountain, Waterville Plateau, always with horses, chickens, all the animals, and they really enjoyed it. Now everyone has left Badger Mountain except a couple of them. We're all city dwellers, which is good by me because I don't like to ride horses. Thank you.